That was pretty fast. I guess I need a gavel here, don't I? So, good morning on this fine Friday. I appreciate everybody coming today. This is the meeting number 1 of the Liquor Rules Working Group. I know that we've been chastised for having meetings at Friday at 2, so I moved it Friday at 9. Just so that you know. That doesn't mean we won't have a future meeting on Friday at 2, but for the first one, at least we start off on a good note. So again, welcome everybody. It's it's a pretty, to me, an exciting time in the liquor industry in Colorado, as we all know, with the changes coming up, and that we get to be a part of this change. You know, it's even though it's draining on my side, it's going to be pretty interesting and fun to watch how this all folds out in the next couple, 3, 4, 10 years. So, and everybody here is part of it. So that's pretty exciting to me. One thing I wanted to make sure that we're clear of, for those of you who don't know me, I think you all do. I'm the director of the liquor enforcement. My name is Patrick Maroney. And this is the Liquor Rules Working Group. And we don't want to get confused with the working group that was mandated from Senate Bill 197. So let me tell you the purpose, what the goals of this working group are, and then we'll go into introductions. The goal of this group is to promulgate or get rules recommended to the state licensing authority to be effective by January. It includes every kind of legislative change, whether it's 197, whether it's 1439, doesn't matter what bill or what thing it was, we're going to get the rules done for this fall for all changes that we need to get done. The working group from 197, the introduction or the invitation to be a part of that will go out this afternoon from the letter from the executive director asking everybody to join in. Same process as before. You need to go on and register, and then we'll have that list open for about a month. Our first meeting will be on August 1st. We're taking every advantage we can of the legislative mandate of having a meeting on or before August 1st. We will make sure we have a meeting on or before August 1st. So with that, I'll go to my left and we'll introduce the rest of the people that are here.
Good morning. My name is Ron Cameron, the Senior Director of Enforcement for the Department of Revenue.
Josh Fair, Director of Government Relations for Walmart here in Colorado.
I'm Detective Carl Terry. I'm from Denver Police Department. I'm here for Mike Mosco, who is my sergeant, and he's off today. So,
Gene McAvoy with the Colorado Licensed Beverage Association.
Adam Stapin, a liquor attorney at Dill & Dill.
Andrew Lumley, New Belgium Brewing Company.
Nick Hoover, Colorado Restaurant Association, sitting in for Sonia Riggs from the Colorado Restaurant Association.
Stephanie Frankson, Tavern League of Colorado.
Mitch Abate with Downslope Distilling, founder and distiller.
Go ahead and just go back to the audience as well.
Jack Chisholm with Division of Liquor.
Megan Tanis, Communications Enforcement.
Alan Steen, Government Affairs for Glaciers Distributing in South Texas.
Nikki Stalling, Southern Wine and Spirits.
Tom Albanese, Southern Wine and Spirits.
Jim Blackford, liquor attorney.
David Wrights, Tavern League, Colorado.
John Carlson, Colorado Brewers Guild.
Jean Robinson, Legislative Liaison to the Department of Revenue.
Back there.
Sandra Lohman, I'm Patrick's assistant. You get all your emails from me. Thank you.
Be nice to Sandra. She keeps the glue of this whole division running.
We know. Jen Penn, representing Miller Coors. And Zoe Wolf here for Karen Borkman, representing Anheuser-Busch. I'm Joni Green, and I represent Viscus.
Phil Hayes, representing Target.
Nikki Hackenberger, Wine and Spirit Wholesalers of Colorado.
Steve Finley, Colorado Beer Distributors Association.
John Tipton, liquor attorney for the Tipton Law Firm.
Tyler Rudd, Wine Institute of California.
Mickey Petrolini with the Colorado Bar Owners Association.
Dinah Amick, and I'm with the Liquor Enforcement Division. Linda Atkins with the Attorney General's Office.
Thank you everybody for coming. I do want to just sort of recognize Tyler here from the Wine Institute. As most of you know, Tyler is a new member to our group because of the passing of Chuck McGregor, who was an awesome member of this group that helped keep things going for the Wine Institute. I just want to recognize Chuck and his awesome work that he did for this group and also the wine industry as a whole across the country. So, Tyler, welcome to have you here under the circumstances. We're glad to have you. So, we appreciate that. And we have one person coming in here. We'll make sure we get everybody on the record of being here. I'm sorry, since you're late.
I'm Amy. I'm here for Applejack.
Okay, awesome. Welcome. Again, thank you. Before we go as well, I can't help but put a plug in for the the Colorado Alcohol Beverage Symposium that's going to happen in August 2nd and 3rd. If you're not on our email list, please get with me afterwards or get with Sandra afterwards and give us your email so you can be on our list to get updated information with what's going on in the liquor industry and the division. This will be the second year for the Colorado Alcohol Beverage Symposium, and we're excited to sort of expand the actual agenda and itinerary of what's going to happen. It's more than just the division. We're going to have a lot of industry members there speaking on a variety of topics, so we're excited to have that happen in August. So we expect to put out the announcement, I think, on Monday. So with the website and website information and registration. So again, welcome. You know, we have a lot of things to do this year. I mean, I think with all the different rules we have to change, so expect an aggressive timeline. And the subgroups that we'll be selecting today, we'll select chairs for those subgroups. And you know, in times past, sometimes we don't get things done, which is, I totally understand that. But we're going to keep a very tight timeline this year because we have a limited amount of time to get these rules done. For the most part, these rules have to be drafted, not implemented, but approved, ready to go by the end of September in order for them to be effective January 1. So I just give everybody a heads up on that. I understand schedules can get crazy out there and you may not be able to attend every single meeting, which hopefully I'll be able to attend every meeting, you know. So I need your commitment to that. If not, send someone in your place to represent your group because we are going to be meeting regularly. And as much as I don't want more meetings, we just need to do that. The 197 working group, which is going to be labeled the Senate Bill 197 Statutory Working Group. That's going to be the name of that working group. That one will start in August, and we have like a year and a half to do our work there. That group is going to really focus on the things that are mandated in the bill. That's pretty much taking care of the issue with 3.2. Also, there's other items as in growlers at retail liquor stores, tastings at retail liquor stores, and liquor licensed drugstores. So it's a pretty focused agenda, but we have a little bit longer to do that. We're not going to meet as every single week or every other week. We're going to pretty much meet monthly, or we'll see how that goes. But this working group will be very quick. I'm willing to have meetings at different locations if that works out for everybody. This seems to be a good meeting for me. I'm gonna be a little bit biased here. Okay? So I'm gonna be lay on the table there, but I'm willing to have meeting in a town or some other places to help accommodate schedules. I'm okay with that. Thank goodness we don't have the legislative session to navigate around. So with that said, any questions so far where we're headed, where we're going? I just want to make it clear that we're separate from the 197 working group. All right, great. Some of you, or all of you that are on the email list, got an email, I think it was Wednesday, about a fee change. Okay, and I want to address that first with this working group. In January of 2015, we reduced fees drastically because our reserves were way over the limits prescribed by law. We had to have 16.5% reserves in our cash spending, our cash fund. We're quite a ways above that, so we decided to lower our fees to come below that cap. Well, we're now at that point where we're comfortable where we need to increase the fees back again, not quite as much, but to get to the level to sustain the business needs for the division. So July 1st, we filed an emergency rule to be effective July 1st to increase liquor application fees for new licenses from $600 to $920. Previously, it was at $1,000, I think, $25. So we're not quite up as where we were before, which makes sense because we grew too much with that. So I want to have a discussion with this group to discuss that fee increase. I mean, no one likes fee increases, but when we reduced it, I was very vocal and made sure people understood it is going to come back up. And we did forecast July as that date, and I think we did a good job at coming to that forecast. So I want to have a frank and open discussion. Now, this is for a brand new application for licenses that were submitted July 1 and after. Now, of course, an emergency rule is only effective for 120 days, so we'll follow up with a permanent rule that will be effective within that 120 days. The rulemaking meeting for that will be July 15th. And again, the information's on our website. We'll have a rulemaking meeting to discuss that fee increase. This meeting here is more of a working group. It's not the rule it's not a rule, hearing. The rulemaking hearing will be with a hearing officer. We'll take testimony, we'll take information in on why we want to do what we want to do. And it's a formal process. This is sort of a semi-formal process. So I wanted to put that out there to the group. We did a thorough analysis of expected number of licenses coming in the next 3 years and putting a fee to it to be able to adjust on some other fees, and that's what we came up with, $920. So I open up to discussion, the group or the audience, and on ideas, or the group to what do you think about that fee change? Quiet. All right. At the same time, so the emergency rule was for the increase for the application fee. All right. We also filed the permanent rulemaking, like I say, for July 15th. There's a second part of that rulemaking that is not part of the emergency rulemaking. It is to lower the fee for brand registrations. And I want to discuss with the group what our intent and what our desire is of the division going forward. Right now, every time a manufacturer or an importer sells or brings a product into Colorado or manufactures a product, they pay $5 to the division to register that brand with us. It is not a label approval, it is a brand registration. So each new product is $5. Now there is some exemption for beer products that are in-state only, but let's take that aside. Every other one is done through either a form that they mail into the division along with a $5 check for each brand, or there's an online version that we have available to us. The thing about the online version is there's $5 to us and then $5 to the vendor who runs the system. My desire is to go paperless. The registration process for the division has become quite overwhelming. There's a lot of paperwork that goes involved. We get an average of 50 new registrations every single working day. And you can imagine the process, and it's Sandra's job back there to do that, to get those into the system. It's a lot of work, and if we can automate that, we want to. So what our desire is to eliminate the $5 fee the division charges, and then make every registration go through the online system where you're still paying $5, but it goes to the vendor, not us. So there's no increased cost to having everybody go online. And it makes it a lot more, it just makes it better, more efficient, more smoother operation, to where we've at the point now with our online system that there's an automatic approval. If you meet certain criteria, the brand gets approved. Now for importers, you still have to wait that 30 days before you can start bringing it in, but the approval process for the brand registration happens automatic if certain requirements are met. So we really do want to go through that fully automated process. But I didn't want to tell manufacturers and importers, well, from now on you got to pay us double, $5 to us, $5 to the vendor. I really want to be business friendly there. So therefore, we're willing to reduce our fee to $0. So the fee is the same, really. In essence, you're paying the same. It's just who you're paying. So I'll open that for discussion as far as brand registrations for those people who are involved in that. No objection?
Patrick, I think all of us have said, our organization at least is willing to pay more fees to make sure that you get what you need. So
Yeah.
the fact of raising the fees and lowering the $5, we certainly don't have any objection.
Mickey?
Could we do something about the online system on excise tax and getting those taxes in a timely manner reported?
I've heard some from some of you in the industry that have requested a little bit more timely response to excise tax reporting on the website. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, we just like to see it there in a more timely fashion.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I understand some of those reports are lagging. I've been in contact with excise tax and trying to work out. That is part of their division. It's not directly related to us, but it still is part of the whole liquor industry. So I will have some conversations with them to see how we can more timely, because I know that just as last week, January's was the latest excise tax. I'm not sure what it is today, but I understand from the industry standpoint, they need that information to do business decisions, and so we'll have that discussion with them.
Thank you.
Andrew.
Kind of along the lines of what John was saying, so if there are 50 new registrations coming in every day,
Yes.
that's $250 a day to the division,
Yes.
right? So So are you guys gonna be okay without that revenue?
Well, we took into account the decrease of that when we came up with our new fee of $9.20. So that was accounted for, because, you know, we don't wanna put ourselves in the red, so, yeah, we're comfortable with that. So we're still getting our needs met for the division's, you know, budget. I think we estimated about $50,000 a year on brand registrations, what our income was, so. That's a good question, though, but we did take that into account. Okay. I know that, you know, everyone in this room, for the most part, has been supportive of wanting to give the division the financial ability they need to do the job they needed to do. And of course, we know that's a legislative thing that sets our spending authority. And the cash coming in is a different subject. You know, there's a pot of money we have, then we have the spending authority from the legislature to spend what portion of that pot we get.
Somebody put it on hold.
Yeah, I know. I know that somebody is. People want to forget to put it. All right, so let's see what we can deal with this.
You want me to text him?
Let you text.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I apologize. I forgot Representative Dan Pabone's on the phone, and I didn't have him introduce himself, so that was my fault. He put us on hold.
He's punishing us with,
Yeah, he's fine.
with smooth jazz.
So, turn it down as much as we can. In the meantime, we have some good background noise. So again, I open any more discussion about the fee increase for the emergency rule and the fee decrease for brand registrations. Both of those we expect to take effect somewhere permanently in October. The brand registration fee won't go in effect until the permanent rulemaking is done and approved and effective. The fee is effective July 1st. On our website, we will reflect the new form, or the forms with the new fee increase from July 1. And for those local entities, is there a...
It's a little distracting, not terrible.
I'm not sure hang up and have him call back.
I'm on mute.
You let him know?
It's only when
Well,
the
he
socks.
just take it off the hold.
We can put him on hold.
We put him on hold.
We put him on hold.
Oh, okay.
So for local licensing authorities that are taking applications, the division, if the application is received by the local licensing authority for a retail license before July 1st, it will be the $600 fee. You know, we don't see that something until a month later. But as long as it's filed with the local licensing authority, it will be the old fee. But anything filed with the local licensing authority or state licensing authority directly, the new fee will take effect July 1st. So I'll make sure we understand that, because there'll be a lot of confusion of, well, which fee do I pay? So I know our local Kevin Balmer did tell me he's going to run late today, so I'll make sure he understands that as well. Any other questions about fees? Okay. So the next thing I want to do was really bring up and discuss the items that we want to talk about with this rulemaking, and come up with some subgroups to handle those, to report back to the main working group here, and then also discuss how often we want to meet, where, and the time of day and where, days. So I open the floor to, I mean, it's obvious, number one, I think we need a subgroup that deals with all of the rules that came out of Senate Bill 197. Now, they do run the gamut on several different issues. I mean, some of them are benign, is deleting things because they don't apply anymore. Some are a little bit more complex. But I believe if we can concentrate on the things that bill brings us, that would be a good subgroup. Any objections to that?
Well, I'm confused, Patrick. How would that overlap with the other group that's got the longer time frame?
You know what, for 1 second, I'm trying to get this phone back in, so I apologize, Jim.
Ask if he's there.
Hello? Anybody there? Oh, there he is.
Ask if he can introduce himself.
Okay, he said he was hanging up and calling back.
Okay.
Okay.
Representative Paboni, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. That wasn't my whole music. I don't know whose that was, but.
Well, and I was remiss on not having people introduced to who was on the phone. So, Representative Pabon, if you'd introduce yourself and.
Yeah, Dan Pabon, House District 4, State Rep.
All right. Is there anybody else on the line?
Judy Steele, Denver City and County Excise and Licenses.
Welcome, Judy. Are you the culprit of the hold music?
I don't think so, but I got another call, so it's possible. I apologize. I won't do that again.
That's okay. We put the phone on hold ourselves, so. All right.
Okay.
Now, Jim, you had a question. Say it again.
Would this be for the short-term 197 deadlines,
No.
July 1st and January 1st, and then the other group for the long-term?
Well, see, the other group may have rule changes, but there's a lot more than just rule changes on that. And those are specifically focused to the 3.2 issue, the growler issue, the Tayson issue.
The January 2019 issues.
Yeah, exactly. 2019 issues.
Gotcha.
This subgroup of this group would be focused on what do we need to do as far as rulemaking to get passed by January 1st to be ready for any implementation of any law. But for this specific, for 197 laws.
Gotcha.
All right. Another subgroup that's needed, and I sort of cringe when I say this, is that powdered alcohol. Powdered alcohol. Do I have any, I haven't asked this about the 197 group, do I have any people who want to volunteer to be the chair of that powdered alcohol group? John, I saw your hand go up there.
You did such a good job last year, Pat.
I wasn't, was I the chair of that one? I'll be glad to relinquish that this year.
How come you did such a good job?
If I did such a good job,
I think Pete should be that.
Should Nick chair it?
well,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I nominate Nick.
well, there is another member of this working group for member at large is not here today, Mr. Pete Mearsman. So,
So we want Nick to do it.
He was really the record reflecting you suggested Pete, not Nick.
No, I'm sorry,
Nick, I think the restaurant, they took the lead on legislation and such, so I think they should,
Yes.
whether it's
If
Nick
you,
or.
if you don't have a problem with me doing it as not a sitting member of the,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And let me discuss that briefly, okay? The working group here, the people sitting at the table that were chosen on the list, you represent the members of your field, okay? Now, we can't get everybody in this working group, or the working group will be so big, and it's like, it's just too many people. But for subgroups, that limitation is not there. Subgroups can be headed up, chaired by people that aren't part of the working group that have been interested in it. Really, I don't want it to hinder people that want to be a part of this, but weren't, quote, members of the working group. Okay, so absolutely, if you want to chair that, I have no issue with that at all. Okay.
Why are we doing it again? Why are we doing another powdered alcohol group?
We never finished it last year.
We thought we could repeal.
Because
There's a repeal bid
We
for
did
it.
final, we haven't adopted right yet.
So last year, we went through a powdered alcohol subgroup to promulgate rules on the regulation of powdered alcohol. At that point, we decided that we're gonna put it on the table for another year to see if we can get other things done, to see if possibly study a little bit more, and then sort of kick the can down to this year to see, to do more rulemaking. So right now, the rule says that for Colorado, you cannot manufacture it, possess it, distribute it right now. So the legislature in 2015 said we'll get rules done to be able to regulate it. So we'll try another shot this year at it. I believe we'll have a little bit more leeway and be a little more restrictive than we were last year, but we'll see what happens with that. I think for 197 working group, I think I'll go ahead and take that chair on that one. The working group for the issues from 197.
Who's doing that? Patrick? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one. I was trying to head off any kind of fights, so. All right.
Yeah, so many people jumped up to
Yeah.
consider that.
Well, I never asked, so,
Right.
Every year, per the executive orders and through new statute a couple years ago, we're to review a certain percentage of our rules every year. It's called the rule review process. And there's other rules the division wants to bring forward as more of a cleanup language. So can we combine those two into one subgroup as far as the rule review as well as cleanup language that may not be as part of that rule review, but we chose the next, like 18 rules to look at, but the division has a few more other ones we just want to clean up. Not necessarily change anything, but more, I think you take a look at the rules and there can be clarification there, and I think that's what this is for, so it's more of a cleanup and a review process. I would like to have that as a subgroup. Does anybody, would you agree, disagree? Let me get your input on that. Good?
And I think that as Dave writes to chair.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What's that?
He was sleeping then.
What I'll probably do with that is I'll probably nominate Danya to be the chair of that one. She's gone right now, but she's taking care of other stuff. But the chief, my chief investigation, we'll let her chair that one up. Because pretty much is our request of changes to the rules for cleanup.
Patrick, do you know what the next section of the mandatory review process is yet?
It's like 500 to 900. Something like, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's like the 500 series and 900 series. Within the division, the employees got together and had their own little working group to be able to request rule changes to me, and some of those will come out in there as far as the review process, and they're not part of those numbers. But I want a chance to review specific rules, and really, with the given load we have this year, we can just go so far and review it. I don't want to open up every single rule to be reviewed. We just can't do it. So we have enough to do as it is. The from 197 is a big lift as it is, and then there's one more as far as and I'm asking your input on this. We have some rules to change just because of other legislation. For example, the Lodge and Entertainment Bill that was passed, 1439, they created a new liquor license that would be effective in August called the Lodge and Entertainment. Now, this new license comes on board August 10th. We're not going to have rules that are available to roll out August 10th unless we do emergency, but I don't know if we're ready for that yet. We can run on statute, and then we can run on interpretation, and we can let the division run with that, but I think where would you like to put the rules that we need to pass because of other legislation in addition to 197? Does it merit its own subgroup? I don't know. Can we put in one of these?
Can it go in the one we just talked about?
The review? We can put it there.
Well, Patrick, how many are there? I mean, because maybe what you could do is so that some people may not care about if they're just gonna do one, like one bill or whatever.
Right.
So, do you know how many there are?
There were 7 bills that were passed.
Okay.
Most of them majority of them are benign.
Okay.
Like, letting a higher institution of higher education do brewery without a license. We had the fee reduction for the distilleries. That's not gonna be really in the rules at all. The Lodge and Entertainment one, we had the renaming family use to personal use on the homebrew statute.
They should just go in the rule review.
Okay.
We don't need to have a separate committee.
I think that's a good idea. It's probably not enough to merit a subgroup by itself. Other issues, other subgroups you think we need to have, or put on the table? What other issues do you guys want to tackle this year? We have.
We're gonna continue. Shall I go through a list?
Practices.
About display enhancers. Breakages, I think you've got done.
Yeah.
Cumulative discounts, retail sales, trade practices, hand sales.
I think there's some reason why that's initial TP, trade practice. It's just it's a tough one. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we have that whole list of open items.
Right.
Laid-in
And
costs.
I mean, one of those that I know will have some lively discussion is the display items. I mean, it's gonna be some lively discussion on that one. Just let you know.
There are a few of us who know how to stop that lively discussion.
Yeah.
Prohibit them.
Well, I'll just let the group know I'm leaning that way.
Might find that objectionable.
Now, I'm just being totally honest. With the discussions we've had, I'm still keeping an open mind, but the more we go down the route we're going, the more I'm wanting to go back to the way it was. So I'm just letting everybody know that.
Well,
I know.
and I guess I have the question then, is it worth everybody's time to have those discussions since we've had them and since you are leaning that way?
Well, I want to give one more shot. We came really close last year. We came really close, but not close enough. I guess I want to make sure we exhaust everything, but I will say for the most part, man, keep an open mind. I want to make sure I have all the information we have before we make that final decision.
Before you decide to prohibit them.
Yeah. For those of you who don't understand what we're talking about, well, it's probably TMI. We're going to the weeds here.
Yeah.
So we need to have a trade practice working group, all right?
I think even if you're gonna prohibit it, I think we still need to talk about it, cause what does displaying completely
Yep.
include? Does it include
Right.
signage? Does it include?
No, we need to have that discussion. I mean, I really do. I think there may be some wiggle room. I don't want to, so I think, let's have that discussion. So I mean, there's that, there's hand sales, there's cumulative discounts. I know
Laid-in
requests.
costs, there's cumulative.
Yeah. Now, with all the changes coming up, I might take a little bit different approach to some of these trade practices. So I think you can all understand why we're doing that. But so we'll have a trade practice, and I think. Let's see here.
Patrick, one other point, I think that because of Senate Bill 197 and the issue of how far labor can go in
Yep.
stocking shelves and stuff, we've had in the trade practice the value of labor and what can be done.
Yep.
And I think there's some disagreement even in that statute about what people really want, so.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that piece may wanna stay over at the Senate Bill 197 rather than the trade practice, because it's a piece of that legislation.
I think we ought to.
I think.
we leave it in trade practices.
I know you're saying, John. At the same time,
I don't care.
yeah, I like to keep that in trade practice. I think the drive of that subgroup will be the same.
Okay.
The labor provision of 197 came out, though, so it should, if we're gonna talk about it.
You're
it should
talking
be
about merchandise.
merchandising. So it probably needs to go into trade practices.
I would agree. Let's keep that with trade practice.
That's fine.
I think there's going to be some overlap on issues, so we'll try to deal with that the best we can. Because there's plenty of things that come out of 197 that will be a change to the trade practice rule, but we're not focusing on the trade practice itself. But it'll be a change because 197 has us do that. I, for one, want to go on the record that I'm glad to see that the 20% for retail liquor stores now can sell non-alcohol products. And the first thing we'll do is have a burning ceremony for the prohibited license,
Yes.
prohibited
You're
list.
welcome.
We'll have a burning ceremony of that list. And I'll invite everybody to it.
Should we all
Will you
each bring
send a-
one item that's on it?
That's
See how maraschino cherry is for her.
Patrick, will you send a personal note to the lotion lady?
Yes. And
the cozy.
Yeah.
The warm wine.
yeah, Mr.
The wine koozie.
The The mulled wine guy.
Mr. Michael Hassler, I'm gonna have a personal phone call to him.
Yes.
And also, you know, you can imagine the day after I got the email from the ice cream guys. The ice cream guys, you know, they're excited about being able to sell their product in liquor
Yeah.
stores. So, it is a burden off the division, and I'm glad to,
And the chocolate lady is
Yes.
there.
And the pickles.
I've talked to her.
Yeah.
yeah.
The soap, do you remember the soap?
The soap lady, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Doug Caskey, the soap.
So there are some really good positives come out of this bill. Now, I have talked to some liquor store owners that they like that idea, but at the same time, they came to me and says, you know, we already have about 10 to 15% of our sales of items on alcohol.
They have the ability to
Change
modify
that,
whatever.
modify that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think the number one question I've got is lottery an item that you sell? Because you don't sell it, you don't set the price, you only collect the fee, so that's something we'll need to talk about.
well,
Lottery.
but you do get profit from it though. So I would say it is.
That's a fee you get.
Well, you get a
It's like
percentage.
the vendor fee on collecting taxes.
Yeah, you get a percentage of sales, plus you get cash bonuses for a 1% fee for
If you sell. yeah,
for
if you-
cashing.
something.
So
We need to talk about
yeah,
that.
we will.
So who's chairing the trade practices committee? John?
You are.
I nominate Patrick.
I nominate Patrick. I second that. Patrick.
Yeah, you realize by having Patrick chair everything, that just means we're having
More
different
meetings.
days, like a week.
Yeah.
We have solid
It's all the same people on all the same work groups anyway.
Pretty much.
I just
I'm
gotta
already-
be a neutral party.
Yeah, I would leave for that as well.
Let's have Ron chair.
Yeah, Ron.
Yeah, you can chair.
I'm happy to do that.
Yay, right.
Ron.
Oh, Ron.
Alright.
As long as John will be there with me.
I promise.
We'll all be there with you.
We'll have this whole room.
I'll be your wingman.
Yeah, next question, who wants to be on it?
Everybody.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's actually better.
All right. I open up for other subgroup ideas or other topics. I mean, let's talk about topics first. So things we haven't talked about yet. What other things would you like to see discussed in rulemaking this year? Good. I think it's a heavy load as it is. I'm glad to see that. And within these subgroups, of course, we can open up to different things, whatever subgroup wants to do, within the parameters that we've given here today. Gosh, we're getting along with this agenda pretty well, aren't we? We're gonna have time to do some specific discussions here if we can, because really,
Good idea.
yeah, I'm glad for that as well. Let's talk about timing, number one. How often would you like as a main group to meet? I'll give you my input after I hear back from you.
Monthly, if we're gonna have the trade practice, or I mean, the subgroups meeting more frequently.
Well, yeah, you said these need to be buttoned up by.
By September?
September?
By the end of September.
I mean, it's mid-June, so if we do monthly.
So like two
that's
meetings,
two
two
meetings.
meetings.
But I think most of the work's gonna get done.
In the
subgroups.
suburbs, yeah.
And those are gonna meet much more frequently, I would suspect.
I would suspect.
You just like
Well,
meeting.
yeah. I could definitely see us having one at the beginning part of, middle July, have another one in maybe beginning part of August. Well, I expect to see 3 to 4 meetings of this group, possibility, cause September we may have to have 2. Cause I think the date we have to, file to make a January 1 deadline is like September 30th. So, I guess we can have 1 in July, 1 in August, and maybe 2 in September. I leave that open to, you know, if we're all getting along, woo, right? And we're all able to come up with consensus, we may just need 1 in September. That's fine. So let's keep that in mind. So we'll do 1 in July, 1 in August, 1 in September, earlier part of September, and that'll give us some ability to come back for any kind of finals in the mid to late September. Okay? good. Okay. Okay, subgroups. Sorry.
Get that kind of calendared now, so, because everybody's schedule's gonna start to book up. And if we know when those are, hopefully they'll be, most of us will be able to attend, but if we wait, it's gonna be harder to make all of us get there.
So I'm gonna try to
I just think it might make some
attempt.
sense to try to pick some dates where we can be, that might work. I don't know.
Okay. So let's look in July. First of all, let's try to just agree on what day of the week. How about we try that first? Saturday in New Belgium?
Mondays are always, are better than Fridays.
Yeah.
Mondays are terrible.
Tuesday or Wednesday? Fridays are horrible.
Thursdays?
Thursdays.
Thursday?
Yeah, but Thursday's not my best work.
Seems like Thursday seems to be best open so far.
Third Thursdays are terrible.
What's that, Thursday?
Gaming commission can't talk.
So we have the public hearing on the 15th.
Yeah, we do the public hearing on the 15th.
So does it make sense to try to do one in the morning?
We got July 14th, it's a Thursday.
I'm out of town too. Can we do the 13th?
13th.
That's a Wednesday.
I can do Wednesday the 13th.
9? I'm something.
Yeah, in the morning. Perfect. And then we'll look for a meeting room. I mean, I really don't mind changing things up a little bit, but I'm gonna have.
Did you say the 13th?
Yep. Okay.
This is a fine place if you wanna do it here.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Tell you right now, so.
Did you go?
I can't confirm right now, but referring to these meetings, I'm like.
Okay.
13th.
If you don't wanna do it here. Because I'm in June.
All right. So or July 13th at 9 o'clock. I guess go to August.
And it's here?
I'll let you know. I know we have a beautiful facility and parking lot. I'm not sure if it was blocked off this morning. I came in and half the parking lot was blocked off, so.
August 11th.
You know, CML may offer theirs up as far as timing wise. I'm okay moving to different places. Now, we've had a Cloud Restaurant before, we've had it up in Broomfield before. So I'm willing to go to different places if you think your facility can help us out. And I'm glad to travel.
How about August 11th?
August 11th.
I'm out of town.
Not good for you?
I'm out of town the 11th.
So not good on the 11th. 18th?
It's 17.
The CBDA has a 2-day meeting next week. Steve and I can't.
Yeah, so I'm out.
17th. When's that 2-day meeting? Is that 17th?
17th is good.
Good? No?
Well, it's gonna be 9 o'clock, 9 to 12.
The 18th is much better, and the
18th's terrible for me.
Now the beer service not gonna be too.
So are we looking at the 17th of August?
How about, are you at the whole week of the 11th?
Yeah. I can call in. I'll be in Washington State, but I'm happy to call
Let's
in.
go back to the 11th.
Yeah, I can call in.
Oh, okay.
I'm just on family
Yeah,
vacation.
the 11th is much better.
11th?
I can't do it in the morning. Got a marijuana work.
How about afternoon?
Yeah. Come on, it's not Friday.
The 11th works.
Thursday afternoon?
Sure.
Okay, August 11th at,
Is it at 9? Are we doing it in the morning?
9?
First.
no,
Ron can't do it.
Ron can't do it in
Oh,
the
Okay.
morning.
What time? Are we
1?
looking at?
1?
1? Okay.
Does that work for you, Ron?
Yeah.
After August 1, we'll have a huge new conference room, but because we're moving to the State Bank building.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's convenient for.
We'll work on places here as it comes up. Okay, so August 11th at 1 p.m.?
Right, are we planning like 3 hours?
I would say 3 hours.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it all depends on how that how the subgroups, get their meeting stuff done.
So
And,
we have something in the calendar.
right.
Thank you.
September, let's pick one. Is the 5th Labor Day?
Yes.
Would you guys be willing to do one later that week, like on the 8th?
8th works for me.
Of which September?
September.
8th in the afternoon would work for me, but not the morning.
Afternoon.
September 8th?
Morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Okay, cool.
Can't do
Yep.
September
Got it
8th.
down.
Besides
Watch the morning.
Wednesday,
I'm good.
cranky one.
How about the 7th? Does
7th?
that work for people?
That
Uh,
works.
7? No, 7.
8th.
I really hate to move the next week because I want to do one the week of the 19th.
Well, let's do the 7th or 8th.
I'm
Seven-
out of town the next week.
7th or 8th? Either one of those?
The 8th.
No on the 8th?
We can't do it the 7th.
Let's do it the 8th then, okay.
8th?
Yeah, afternoon.
September 8th at 1 p.m.
1?
1 p.m. And then the second one, the week of the 19th, would be the 20. No, I can't do the 22nd. 21st, I can't do the 22nd or 3rd, so 21st?
Oh, the 21st, you guys think the 21st?
Hmm?
Morning or afternoon?
Morning? Morning? All right. 21st at 9? No?
You
1?
can do it in the afternoon, I'm doing.
Okay, 1 p.m. again?
One.
On the 21st?
Yeah, so again, let's go list it real quick. July 13th at 9 in the morning, August 11th at 1 p.m., September 8th at 1 p.m., and September 21st at 1 p.m. Okay. Wow. And wherever we select, hopefully we'll select some place that has a call-in feature in case our schedules get, off. And I totally will make that, ability for that, or you can send someone else, that represents your group, that's fine. So,
Thank you for doing that.
yeah, you bet. It was a good idea. I'm somewhat happy to see where our schedules are doing pretty good. Great. So let's talk about the subgroups. I guess I'll start out with the items from 197, and let you know my schedule for that for the first one. Wow.
We're gonna go through scheduling all the subjects.
Yeah, at least the first meeting.
Okay.
I like to go through at least the first meeting of the subgroups to schedule those. And then the subgroup can determine when to meet from there. Okay? But then again, here's what I expect from the chairs of that is you'll be responsible, and we'll be glad to be the conduit, through Sandra to get the information out to the subgroups. What we'll do is we'll make an email list of those people who want to be on the subgroups. So all right, try to make this easy. We'll put an email out there probably Monday. We'll try to get to it today, no guarantee. We'll try to do it on Monday. There will be an email, there'll be a list of, okay, here's the 4 subgroups. If you want to be in one of the subgroups and your name in, then we'll create a list. And it'll be for anybody, the whole industry wide, to be able to be on these subgroups. And then we'll make that list available to the chair, and they can go from there. But we'll have a list of a master list of each subgroup. Then we'll also be able to tell how many people we need for the size of room we need, depending upon the subgroups. So we'll do that by Monday, and that way the communication we can definitely work on that communication piece and be the conduit for that. You know, one good thing, another good thing that came out of Senate Bill 197 is we're able to hire a legal assistant. The job announcement is on the web right now. It's closed on Monday. So if I know anybody has interested in being a legal assistant for the division, they'll work closely with me and Linda and Danya and let them know. Preferably someone with a Juris Doctorate, but it's
When
not,
does it-
or a paralegal.
When does it close?
Monday. It closes Monday the 20th. Okay. And it's being fast tracked. We're trying to get this, person hired on as soon as possible. So. So subgroup. Back to the subgroups. First meeting for the 197, I guess that I am chair of. Gosh.
Patrick, are we gonna be able to set meeting times for those if we don't know who's on them yet?
Well, here's
time.
we don't. I'm not sure if there's gonna be enough time because we're not gonna. The chairperson is the one that's gonna have to drive it.
Right.
So the first meeting, let's try to set the first meeting for each one, and from that person, the chairperson can drive it to get those done. Whether we do it by doodle or whatever you want to do to get those meetings set. That's what I'm the responsibility of the chairperson. And the chairperson will be responsible reporting back to me minutes to that meeting that we can publish on our website. And I ask to get those meetings back to us within a week of their subgroup meeting. They don't have to be, transcript type, just, topics. And these are the things to be talked about. Preferably, especially if you have like a decision. If you have a decision within a subgroup along this line, please make that part of the minutes,
That's gotta be transcript, that can't just be a topic. Because the members of the subgroup need to look at it to make sure it's what everybody agrees.
Well, I'm talking about just meeting minutes. What we'll do, John, is we'll come back up and we'll have a form. The
same form we've used.
the subgroup will submit that to the working group for minute reasons. I know minutes can be very laborious, and I don't want to request a transcript. Here's the topics we discussed. The subgroup decided on this recommendation. It's a debrief because it's not the formal one. It's just a communication avenue that's available to the rest of the group and the public as far as meeting minutes. When it comes down to the actual formality, we'll have them do the form and everything like that. But for meeting minutes, I look at them as a brief thing. Okay.
Well, you and Ron are doing the minutes, so however you want them.
All right, for 197, I have two choices. I'm going to start it next week. Two choices I have are Tuesday or Friday.
Friday's best.
Friday.
Tuesday. Tuesday's not good, you'll be in Vail.
No, we don't. We have a life all week.
Friday.
Friday.
All that was Friday.
All right.
What time?
Morning.
What time?
Next Friday
Patrick, 9?
9 in the morning. 9. I'll see if this room's available. If not, I'll let you know where it's going to be.
So, the 24th?
624.
Yep, 624.
At 9 a.m.
The following week is NCSLA. So what's that?
Also the 4th of July.
Could we book?
I'll book it for 4. We'll probably go 2 to 3. Depends. We'll start at 9 and go to noon probably.
At 9 o'clock? Okay, thank you.
Okay, Nick, powdered alcohol.
Of course, Nick, nobody will be there.
And I will be meeting with myself at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. I can do Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday's kind of out next week. Otherwise, the week after that, I've got a lot of time.
It's your call.
It's up to you.
Tuesday, 9 a.m. I can host at the CRA, or Patrick, if you guys can.
6:21 at 9 a.m.
You'll have a call-in option?
Yeah, I've got a call option.
At the CRA. Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay, rule review, Danya, who's not here, I'll speak for Danya.
You said 9, right?
Yes.
9 to.
If, I,
9:15.
yeah, 9 to 9. I have 2 hours, I think is gonna be a lot, so. for that one.
And Nick, remind me, I'll try to get the stuff we did last year that we put in, that we took out, so.
So you can start over.
Rule review. This phone doesn't allow me to get access to Danya's calendar. When we take a break, I'll get back with Danya. And never come in, we'll top of the rule review schedule, so we'll take a break here shortly. Trade practice, Ron.
Do it that day the distributors are out of town.
What does the 23rd of June look like?
Bad.
Bad?
About the 8th of July, because we got the July 4th holiday that week.
We have a meeting at 10. I'm having dental surgery on the 8th, I can't talk.
Well, it's the same as the trade practice meeting, I mean, you know, they're both equally painful.
Yeah, I agree.
The week of the 27th doesn't work?
I'm out of town most of that.
I'm out of town on the 27th, but 23rd through the 27th. So when are we looking at? Whenever Ron's.
How about Wednesday the 6th?
Of July?
Yeah.
And with Casey interviews.
August 6th.
July.
July 6th, sorry.
Or July.
Ahead of myself.
I go back to the 8th, even though Mickey's having surgery.
Yeah, that's just not fair.
Did you ask the 22nd?
This is
Um,
7th are Casey interviews.
How about the 11th? I don't know, you guys switch around.
That's fine, 11th.
As long as we could do it in the later, because I have
I
a.
just truly didn't. Hello, goodbye.
I can't do afternoon, but I could do the 11th.
I could do like 11 o'clock.
I could do 11.
Yeah.
Does 11? Can we do 11:30?
11th?
I have a conference call.
What day
Can we
was
do
that?
11:30?
What day?
It's Monday,
Which
July
day?
11th?
11th.
July 11th at 11:30?
11:30?
Yeah, I can make that work.
At 11:30?
11:30?
Maybe we'll get lucky and settle
I'll
on.
bring, if you could, oh, that one we're not there. I was gonna say, I'll provide pizza if you can do it at 11:30 on the 11th.
And
Okay.
Saturday.
And Saturday, yes.
What do we think of that? 2, 3 hours? Okay.
Those ones.
So, and are we planning 3 hours for this, Ron?
No more than 3.
No more time.
What day is that again?
Monday, July 11th at 11:30. We'll try to get this room.
Okay.
This is gonna be where, at Mickey's office, or where?
I think here's what you're saying.
Here.
Either way, if you have
But-
it here, I'll still bring pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, let me check the availability and I'll get something out.
Be back with us.
So July 11th, 13th, 21st.
You will send down a list of
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's, before we take a quick break, here's takeaways so far. By Monday, we'll have an email out to the entire industry list that tells the 4 groups, for subgroups, and it gives the ability to everybody to sign up for whatever subgroup they want. Okay? Number 2, we'll put out the meeting schedule for the main groups, and then the first group, or first meeting for each of the subgroups. We'll do that. All right? And we'll probably get that done by today. Depends how much we can get whether we can get the other one out today or not. And again, the 197 invitation will go out today as well. So. All right, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break and be back in 15.
5-minute
Break.
This is not marijuana.
This is not marijuana. So let's meet at back here at 20 after.